I know that you've got some thoughts around understanding different types of no, because we all know in sales, no doesn't mean no. It
Yeah.
means not at this moment. And there are a lot of different ways that we can react and respond to it. And I think some sellers, when they hear it, they're immediately wanting to back off, and they may say, I don't want to push it. I don't want to be too pushy or aggressive. They'll make up all the reasons in the world not to pursue it in a meaningful way. I'm curious as to how do you address the no, and what would you tell sellers who are terrified by it?
I often see that no is when selling starts, whereas I think no is when listening should start. And I say that because customers have a reason for saying no. You want to understand, is it the proposed solution? Is it the timing? Is it the way that, they have to, is it part of their own organization? In very rare cases, is it a never? It's a not now, not this, not with this specific avenue or vehicle that we're going about. And that's where you got to listen to find out, how do you start, taking that no into a maybe, and add excitement and interest and motivation for change. Because a no is really saying, I'm not ready to do this. And you got to give me more information or, excuse me, I guess speaking all day makes you lose your voice, right? But you got to take that no and understand, how do you elevate it to, I'm really excited to do this, and give me more information so I can go make a change. So I think no is a great place to be. When you start loving it, you start seeing a lot of good successes from it. I used to work for a boss who used to say, we eat no for breakfast and then we come back for lunch, So we don't get a lot of no's anymore. It's interesting. I would say culture has played a big role in customers asking us to speak with them and give thought leadership. And that's the other way. How do you change the game so it's no longer about you selling versus the customer asking for your time and your expertise to help them?
Once again, I love the quotables, because no is when selling starts, no is when listening starts. When you hear the word no, it's getting to that point, as you just articulated, of being able to embrace that and really understand the root cause. And I would even go one step further and to say sometimes it's anticipating the no. It's understanding that it may come and being very prepared for it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I try to implement into prospecting, as an example, is I know the feedback that I've gotten from years upon years of managing accounts, reaching out to customers, and the types of feedback of the reasons why I'm shot down, why I don't get the meeting, why I don't get a second meeting. I see these things before they happen. I liken it to the Matrix. Once you get to the point where you're super, super effective and you can dodge bullets and bend spoons with your mind, the reality is you can see around corners. You know that this stuff's coming, so you anticipate it and you prepare. So I infuse that type of stuff in my outreach. As in, look, I know that you make a significant investment with my company. And so I'm actually here to add more value around that investment. I'm not here to ask for more money type of mentality. That's the approach that you've got to take, because they have processes just like we have processes. And if you sound like every other seller, you're going to get the same treatment as every other seller. That's where you get shot down. So take that unique approach, anticipate the no, and infuse the things that will throw them off of their process of batting you out. Throw that into your outreach. Same thing with the process of anticipating an objection. Like, if I know what they're going to object to, it could be price, it could be cost. Okay, great. Then I know that I've got to bolster the value around this so they really understand the steps we took to get here. If they try to bat me back with milestones that we've already agreed on, we've got to take it back to the mutual priority. We aligned on these timelines. You agreed that this was a critical project. If we're going to get this done on your timeline that you've stated as a priority, we have to act now. Just gentle nudge here. It's not checking up, checking in. It's anticipating the no, anticipating the trouble ahead, and acting proactively.
I think that's a really important part, and it goes into the ripple effect. Sometimes we get so caught up on trying to throw the stone in the water, we don't think about the ripple effect, because that's really what we're there to manage. And it's almost like starting with the end in mind. And I think that's where the anticipating the no becomes a real big part, because you have to anticipate everything else that will happen before they actually get to not just problem solve, but benefit realized. And I think that's the other part. We often, as sellers, may think the end goal is to get the deal, but the end goal is to realize the value, because that's when really you've completed your full job. And I think that opens up a whole other conversation about the rise of customer success, which we may not have time for today, but I think that is one really big change coming up and percolating that will change the world of sales.
Yeah, no is a dance. You know, if
Yeah.
you're in sales long enough, no is just a dance, and it is something that you should anticipate. It is something that, you know, that's why you leave yourself room when you're concocting a deal. That's why you understand the priorities of the customer so well that you're able to tie it back to their priorities. And ultimately, you know, even in a negotiation, no matter how challenging it gets, you're able to stand your ground, stay at the heart of what matters to your customer, your company, and yourself and your team. Those are the things that are going to equate to winning.